Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, November 22nd. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Ryan Robinson in the house, as he often is on Saturdays with us. And big Saturday card on tap. Looking forward to it. Some interesting matchups. We've got 12 games on the board for this Saturday. So we'll get into all those games in just a moment. But first, before that, we'll recap what we saw last night. And I guess Buffalo proved why they were favored for a reason last night by a significant price over the Chicago Blackhawks. It was a bad start for Chicago. Even if it was scoreless for a bit, they were getting outshot, 8-2, 10-2. They had an early power play. They didn't really generate much. They were hemmed in their own zone. And then the floodgates just basically opened after that, and Buffalo poured it on and really didn't look back. It was a bit of a tricky spot for Chicago on the back-to-back after a very frustrating loss against Seattle the night before, and it played out that way as Buffalo rolls to a 9-3 victory last night over the Chicago Blackhawks. Everyone played great. Ryan's boy, Josh Doan, heck of a game from him last night for the Sabres. Tage Thompson gets on the board. I don't think UPL, I've got to see more from UPL. I don't think he was tested all that much, and he did still give up 3 goals, not facing a ton of shots. But the rest of the team was really good last night. You could tell. You know, I was hearing a lot of quotes that they were really upset about how you play so well against Edmonton and you piss it all away and give it back with that rotten effort against Calgary. And Buffalo certainly made amends for that last night. So a good win for them there. How about Minnesota, man? I'm kind of frustrated I didn't take Minnesota. I didn't really trust them coming off the Carolina win. But they put the boots to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They jumped out early and did not look back in that game. A 5-0 shutout win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And a nice game for Philip Gustafsson, who I think is playing last night like he kind of sees the other guy, Jesper Wallstedt, really starting to make a name for himself and saying, hey, I got to step my game up now. And he certainly did that for the Minnesota Wild there, getting the shutout in that victory last night over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Carolina, Winnipeg. This was a great game from a betting standpoint. In fact, we had the best bet, by the way, with the Chicago Buffalo game did not actually worked out okay, because the smallest bet I had was Chicago money line. That lost, but we had Chicago team total over 2.5. That cashed. And obviously the best bet on the show was over 6 with that Blackhawks Sabres game. And then this Carolina Winnipeg game, you know, where everything hit pretty much. Carolina money line, team total over, first period full game over. 4-3 Hurricanes win. They bounce back from that tough loss to Minnesota where they probably deserved a better fate. Wallstedt kind of stole the game, but a nice win there for Carolina, 4-3 over the Winnipeg Jets. Like I said, it's going to be a little tougher now for Eric Comrie. He gives up 4 goals last night. It's his net for the foreseeable future. We'll see how he fares with it. Obviously, the workload's going to go up for him. Nice job by Winnipeg with the video tribute. Finally, a video tribute that it actually deserves a video tribute. Yeah, it's not one of these deals where you're bringing back a fourth-line guy coming back to Winnipeg. He played 8 games for the team. No, this is different. Nikolai Ehlers was there for a long time, was a great player for the Winnipeg Jets, so made all the sense in the world, this one, to have a video tribute. Very nice moment there as he gets a salute from the crowd in his return to to Winnipeg, now as a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. And, you know, Jimmy Murphy, we got to give him a little shout out for this. Kind of pushed me in the direction of looking at Boston last night against L.A. I was interested anyway because L.A. minus 200 at home. No, thank you with the way they've struggled on home ice coming off a very long road trip. But we did pull the trigger with Boston, plus 175, and great hit there as they get the overtime win, 2-1 over the L.A. Kings in that game. And it was all Morgan Geekie getting both goals, including the overtime winner for the Boston Bruins in that game. It was a very solid performance in net from Jeremy Swayman. And again, Geekie getting the overtime winner and a nice bounce back. I know the Bruins were a little frustrated with the way they played against Anaheim the game before that, and they certainly bounced back with a better effort. Very, very disappointed what happened right after that goal was scored, though. Darcy Kemper, man, what are you doing? Like, just such a stupid thing to do, needless, dumb, sticking your leg out, to try to trip David Pasternak. I mean, I know you're frustrated. You just lost a game in overtime, but totally unnecessary. Douche move, dick move. You didn't have to do that. What if he got hurt? What if that had seriously hit him in the wrong spot and he gets hurt on something like that too? So it's just, not the right thing to do if you're Darcy Kemper. I get it. You're frustrated. You just lost a game in overtime. Now you've lost 3 in a row as a team. The Kings going back to the last 2 losses of that road trip, but that was not necessary from Darcy Kemper. Should act a little better than that at the end of a tough game like that. Alex, your thoughts on what we saw on Friday?
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to check. I'm hoping those 2 teams play each other one more time this season. Be interesting to see how that maybe handled down the road. But yeah, obviously the cornerstone of last night had to be the Chicago-Buffalo game. A great job by Buffalo. UPL did make some big-time saves. The save of the night was him robbing Bedard on a breakaway. He's on his belly and gets the pad out, makes a tremendous save using his length. He had a great game. But the Hawks had a terrible game. And a game that you're not supposed to have in a spot after what happened the previous night late against Seattle, where it was a combination of you playing poorly and of getting screwed by the refs. You're supposed to come out with a lot better first period effort. Even if you lose that game, okay, that's fine. You're supposed to come out with a much better effort in that first period. And they were absolutely dead flat early. Oliver Moore with a terrible turnover. Arvid Soderblom gave up a goal. He looked like a goaltending statue, basically. That second goal that he gave up, a puck that you should be able to stop. Any one of the 3 of us could have stopped. And you can't have that early. And we talked about that with Montreal, where how that's a team that has to play from behind so often because they've had goaltenders giving up the first goal of the game, and having to play from behind. You can't put yourself in that situation if you're a young team like the Hawks. You have to get off to a good start. And especially when you're seeing the second period and the third periods fall apart, like you have to start connecting these periods together. I always talk about storyline mode in playoffs. The Hawks have to start playing more like a storyboard kind of set. You have to carry over good momentum from the first period into the second, carry second momentum period over into the third. Like they have to start connecting the dots with this. We've seen them play better defense. We've seen their game as a whole evolve. But now you have to work on those tactical points to become a better team. And that's where that starts, connecting your periods together. And the best teams in the league, the teams that are at the top of the standings, they do that. The teams that are at the bottom of the standings, they don't do that as well. So where the Hawks, where they finish out, the rest of the way, it depends on how well they connect their periods together. And they have to start doing it. And the road's only going to get tougher because you go back home tomorrow, you play Colorado. You got Minnesota coming into town. You got Nashville, who, yes, they suck, but they still always give you fits. So you got division points on the line coming up this week. This is a huge week for the Hawks to decide whether you're going to be toward the top or toward the bottom.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, they don't want this to snowball. It's 2 losses in a row. Seattle lost. You played well. You got kind of a bad short end of the stick there. But last night you were awful. And that's the kind of habits you don't want to allow to permeate. You got to get rid of those. Just flush that game and get back to playing the way you know you're capable of, because you don't want those bad habits creeping in. No question about that. Ryan, your thoughts on anything from last night?
No, I didn't really have anything except for that Josh Stone goal. So I'm always obviously happy whenever he, scores or has a big night.
So that's we had a bargain bin winner for your brother because he had Stone and Bedard goal parlay, but the Bedard goal got changed to Bertuzzi. So unfortunate there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for sure, but happy to see Donor score. Obviously, such a great guy. So that's pretty much all I had. I know there's obviously a huge card today, so much more interested in this card rather than 4-game slate.
Yeah, I saw some of the post-game interview with Doan. I mean, Shane Doan is you can tell it's Shane Doan's kid because Shane's obviously great. He's just utmost class, good. For his whole career, not only a great player, but great person too. And you can tell he's raised Josh very well. There's no question about it. No doubt. All right, let's get into Saturday. It's a big slate. We're going to get started with a game that starts in about an hour, 1:00 p.m. Eastern, Columbus, Detroit. We've got the Red Wings, -130 home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. series history has this 5 straight overs, believe it or not, with the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings. 5-4, 4-3, 5-4, 5-2, 5-3. So lots of high-scoring games between these two teams of late. We'll see if that is the case here. We do have Detroit coming off getting goose egg blanked by the New York Islanders 5-0 on Thursday night. What was shocking about that was it was the end of a very long road trip for the Islanders, and for them to just pound the Detroit Red Wings the way they did. Pretty impressive stuff from them in that, from the Islanders, that is, in that game. But Detroit looking to bounce back here, play better in this game. Last year, these teams, of course, met on 3 occasions. Columbus going 2-1 in those 3 games. Columbus coming off a 3-2 overtime win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Adam Fantilli wishes every game was in Toronto at this point because he was phenomenal, and he's got something like 7 goals in 4 games in Toronto against the Leafs. So definitely loves going back home. We'll see how this one goes. I'm going to just sprinkle here with this total of I got a 6 with juice to the over. I'm going to maybe add, if I see 6 or 5.5 in game, I might add to it. A small bet on that, and also a small bet on the draw pregame too. I mean, it's hard to avoid these Columbus games right now and taking the draw. Hard to avoid it. They have suddenly become a team where overtime has become very, very prevalent in their games. 5 of the last 7 games involving the Columbus Blue Jackets have gone past regulation time. So a draw sprinkle for me, a small pregame over bet. The intention, though, is if a 5.5 appears during the game at some point, we'll add to it. Be careful with turning this into an over by Fecta. You're going to look at the 5-0 series history to the over full game. There's 2 or 3 of these that have actually had scoreless first periods between these two teams, where a lot of these games that have gone over head-to-head, Jackets and Red Wings, the scoring has been second period, third period, a lot of goals later in the game. So that's why I would say be careful if you're thinking of maybe tacking on a first period over with this game. Tough call from a side perspective. Columbus is playing better than Detroit, I think, right now. I kind of, want to take Columbus at a plus price. This Greaves and net's been solid, but Detroit coming off the thumping at home against the Islanders, and they're used to these home games early on a Saturday afternoon, that I could see Detroit winning this game too. So it's a tough call for me on the side. Alex, what do you think? Jackets, Wings?
Yeah, you made a great point about looking at the series history. One of those 2 scoreless periods also was that last game they played outdoors. So, you always want to kind of grade that slight difference. You have an element advantage, disadvantage, of course, playing outside at times. But this is a game where I would want to wait anyway to try to get a better number. And if we can get a scoreless first period, so be it. Then I can grab a 4.5 or even a 3.5 potentially, depending on how the pace goes with this contest. But I do like the draw. Is it the Columbus Draw Jackets? It might be a nickname that starts to stick the way that they've been playing to games going to past overtime.
All right, good stuff. Ryan, what do you think here, Columbus, Detroit?
Yeah, I thought about taking the first period over. However, I don't like the -140, so I still think I'm going to be interested in it. Just wait for a better price if 3 or 4 minutes go by and there's no goals. I think you get it, closer to even money or better. So that's something I'm going to be looking for live.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. All right, on we go. Next up, we've got St. Louis and the New York Islanders. Islanders -130. Home favorites, 6 the total. I appreciate that, Nick. I'm not all the way back. Trust me. The good news is I'm not coughing nearly as much right now. My voice is getting a little bit stronger. I'm getting better. Like, I'm certainly on the improve. There's no doubt, but we're not all the way back. Trust me. We're not there yet, but hopefully getting there. Blues and Islanders. Islanders -130. Home favorites, 6 the total in this game. I have to do it. I think it's just, if the Islanders are just this unbeatable, unstoppable force to withstand spots like this that are freaking brutal on paper, so be it. But I'm taking St. Louis first period is what I'm taking here. I don't know about full game, because with this Blues team, I've seen this way too many times with them. Good start, get on the board early, and then fade and crumble, and confidence starts to shake again. And as soon as something bad happens to the Blues, it's insane how their just body language drops, their confidence drops, they start making mistakes, they start fumbling the puck. So the pattern for the Blues has been these good starts and then they tail off. It's happened multiple times with this team over and over again. You look at it, they get the first goal against Toronto and they lose that game 3-2. They actually start the game very well in Philly. They're up 2-0 after the first period in their last game, and then they lose that game 3-2 in overtime. So that's the problem with the Blues. 4-game losing streak, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They've been right there. They've been in a lot of close games, but it's usually been they actually start okay, and then things get worse as the game goes on for them. But my gosh, the Islanders' first home game, first period off a 7-game road trip where they went 6-1, where they went from New York and New Jersey in the East time zone all the way out to the Pacific with Vegas, to the Mountain with Utah and Colorado, to the Central with Dallas. You end back in the Eastern time zone with Detroit at the end of that trip. How are you not feeling it here? And just, how do you not have a bad, rotten first period here off a trip like that? I know these are human beings after all, not machines, as Doc Emmerich would say. I think just from a pure spot perspective, and given the St. see what did I tell you? The cough's not totally gone yet. St. Louis's tendencies to have pretty good first periods, better starts than finishes. I think the St. Louis first period looks not a bad one here in this game. St. Louis money line first period. I think St. Louis first goal of first period, an Alex B special at FanDuel at a nice plus price. I'm going to dabble in that here in this game as well. That's St. Louis first goal of first period. And how do I not take the draw here? You just have to. St. Louis has been just absolutely insane right now. As far as going to overtime, it's happened already twice this week, back-to-back against the Leafs and the Flyers, and I cashed the draw in both of those games. 4 of their last 6 games have gone past regulation. The Islanders, they're always a threat for overtime. 3 of their last 6 have gone past regulation. Last year, one of the 2 meetings went to overtime. So Blues first period, first goal of first period for the Blues at a plus price, and the draw. Those are the pregame looks for me here in this game. Alex, what do you think? Blues Islanders.
Yeah, I already had the draw plus 330, but I will add that first goal of first period. Like, plus 135 is the best price available at FanDuel. There's a plus 130 available at MGM. Those are the 2 books that I see have that prop the most. So if you like to play those like I do, those are your 2 options. But you tend to see the better price at FanDuel, just about maybe 5 to 10 cents off difference. But definitely liking that look. Like you said, Isles, this could be a spot where the Isles get tripped up. Then I can see this game, being kind of a tight, close battle. Especially, like I said, this is where draw season comes into play. 2 teams, cross conference, don't mean anything to one another at an early start time. If the Isles are down, 2-1, 3-2, I can see them trying to push just to get that goal, just to get that extra point, and make sure you at least get a point secured, rather, and then play for that extra point in overtime. So plus 330 I like, but I would be taking plus 135 with Blues to get the first goal in the first period.
All right, good stuff there. Yeah, so I should have mentioned Aaron. I should have mentioned that for the first game too, the goalies. It's Greaves for sure. We don't know for Detroit. Gibson's projected, not confirmed. Binnington and Sorokin is the projection here with the Blues and Islanders. I would think Sorokin. And I would think Binnington probably too for St. Louis, but neither one confirmed. All right, what do you think here, Ryan? Anything you're liking with St. Louis and the New York Islanders?
Yeah, no, I actually really like that thought process there with St. Louis to score first in the first period. I see it at plus 145 at DraftKings for first goal, first period. I do also kind of like the draw here. I think if the Islanders, do get up early and are up after the first, you'll start to see him kind of slow down a little bit coming off that long road trip. Like you said, I know they've been playing good, but just kind of a tough spot. So I do like the draw as well. And I am going to hop on that first period, St. Louis to score first with you guys too.
Like, this is one of those bets where if it loses, okay, it's a good bet.
You have to take it.
Yeah, it's a good bet. They've been
better. It's a good spot bet.
Yeah. They've been a good first period team to St. Louis. They haven't been very good overall, but their best period, even during the rough season has been their first period. They've had a lot of good first periods this year, St. Louis. It's the part of the game after that where it's been a problem. So this makes a ton of sense. Yeah, St. Louis first period, St. Louis first goal of first period, And like I said, the draw. Yeah, won't you be my neighbor? I have no argument there. His props are certainly worth a look. He just came back in the lineup for the St. Louis Blues. I know in the first game back, Jim Montgomery put him on the top line. So for that stand, with Thomas and Snuggerud. So, I like that look there. Emil Heineman for the Islanders again. Why not? We've been taking his prop over and over and over again. So it's pretty much wash, rinse, repeat for every Islander game, at least for me right now, with betting Emil Heineman to find the back of the net. All right, those are the 2 afternoon games. The rest of the games are all night games for the Saturday slate. Seattle, Pittsburgh. We've got the Penguins minus 120, home favorites. The total here, 5.5 across the board in this game. You got Pittsburgh getting skunked last night at home by the Minnesota Wild by a score of 5-0. So they will be looking to bounce back here and respond on a back-to-back. Rest advantage for Seattle, obviously. They played in Chicago where they stole one from the Chicago Blackhawks there, down 2-0, and they came back and they won 3-2. They have really done well against Pittsburgh, 6-1 the last 7 meetings between these two teams. You got Pittsburgh off the 5-0 shutout loss entering this game. We'll see if they bounce back from that. Back before the struggles of the system, we'd be jumping on the first period over, full game over, team off a shutout loss. Those have not been cashing like they did last year. So I'm a little hesitant to do that here in this game. We should see as far as goaltending tonight. We saw obviously Shilov's last night for Pittsburgh. We're going to see probably the youngster Sergei Murashov here tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And in just 3 starts here at the NHL level, he's looked pretty solid. November 9th, he started against the Kings. He gave up 3 goals. But since then, he had a shutout in a 4-0 win against Nashville in one of the games over in Europe, over in Sweden. It was the Sunday game. And then he came in relief of Shilov's last night. I think it'll probably be Murashov tonight in net for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll see how this goes. This is one where I didn't bet anything pregame, and that's rare, as you know, for me. But it's going to be something I watch and see how it unfolds as things go on. But my premise with Pittsburgh right now is I think they had their red-hot October. Credit to them for that. I think there's going to be a slump around the corner for this Penguins team, and I think we're already starting to see signs of it. 1-4 in their last 5, 2-6 in their last 8 games. We're starting to see that regression, and Pittsburgh coming back down to the pack a little bit, coming back down to earth a little bit. So I'm not in a rush to lay prices with Pittsburgh right now. But at the same time, you got a team at home off a shutout home loss the night before. Those are usually bet on spots. But Pittsburgh's not a team I'm interested in laying with as a favorite right now. So no bet for me here at the moment. Alex, Seattle, Pittsburgh.
It's another wait and see spot. I hate to be a broken record, but that's how it is kind of early with this card tonight.
Yeah.
This is a spot where, and Murashov, I've seen some stuff that I like from him. I think he can, grow and develop over time. This could be a spot where, we see him kind of bounce back and settle in. And Seattle, like I said, after getting that win against Chicago, they should have some positive momentum early. So I'll be targeting over bifecta, but I want to wait for those prices to drop down, try and get plus money with the 5.5, try and get a bigger plus price with that over 1.5.
That's exactly what I noticed too. Like I was thinking of, I might have been on Seattle, but then I saw the name Philip Grubauer confirmed in net for Seattle, and I said, well, that's not going to happen now. With I got to see more. He was actually okay the last time he started. Actually played pretty solid, but need to see more. Especially on the road from him, because I know on the road in particular, I've seen him get lit up, in the past since he's been a member of the Kraken. So, this is clearly a game. It's a tough one. No bet is sometimes the right call, and I think it might be here. Ryan, Seattle, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I actually have one thing I do like in this game. I've started doing this a little bit more given, certain scenarios, but Pittsburgh has the number 1 power play in the league currently. Seattle has the 30th out of 32nd penalty kill. So at least on, DraftKings, you can get Pittsburgh Penguins 1 plus power play goal around -110. I think that's good value. I don't feel great about backing Pittsburgh here, but their power play has been hot. It's 32% or something crazy like that. So I like them to find the back of the net on the power play here.
All right, good stuff. All right, on we go. Next up, we've got the New Jersey Devils and Philadelphia Flyers. Even money, 5.5 the total in this game. Devils mangled. We know that. We've talked about all the injuries that they've had to deal with. Of course, Jack Hughes, the most critical of them all. Although I would argue every bit as critical has been the long-term absence of Pesce. Pesce's their best shutdown defenseman. Miss him dearly. It's not a great shutdown defense. It's decent, but Pesce's the best they've got from that standpoint for sure. Dennis Cholowski and Siegenthaler, those are solid guys. Nemec and Hughes are more puck moving transporter type of defensemen. So, like I said, they definitely miss the physical shutdown nature of Brett Pesce. And obviously, it goes without saying, Jack Hughes and the Void. They won the first game without him, and then they've lost the last two without him since then. The Tampa game and, of course, the Florida game after that. Philadelphia, 3-2 overtime win against St. Louis in their last game, trying to build on some momentum. And as we said, they won their first game without Hughes, 3-2 against Washington. But like I said, 1 goal in the 2 losses combined for the New Jersey Devils down in Florida. So this actually could be, it depends on the goaltending matchup. Let's see, New Jersey and Philly here. But looks like Dan Vladar for Philly. Right now it's projected. It is now confirmed, Jake Allen. This could be a low-scoring game, in my opinion, here in this one. So I would actually lean under in this game because New Jersey's just not scoring right now. Philly's certainly capable of playing a solid defensive effort on home ice. And look at these Philly home games lately. 4-1, 2-1, 3-2, 2-1 against Edmonton, 3-2 last game. A lot of unders at home for the Philadelphia Flyers lately. So maybe lean under. I like this draw. It's hard to, again, with the New Jersey Devils, they've had 5 of their last 7 games have gone past regulation. They had 1 game where they got whipped by Tampa, 5-1. And then a game that was this close to going overtime last time against Florida, losing 1-0. So they have been, you look at it, 6 of their last 7 games have been decided by 1 goal. 5 of those have gone past regulation. Philly has gone past regulation now in 5 of their last 7 games as well entering tonight. So, yeah, draw indicators galore. Alex, what do you think? Devils, Flyers.
I love this draw. This matchup, this feels like 1997 kind of, doesn't it? Like it's a Brodeur versus Hextall kind of a battle. Like I said, the under feels like the right play even at 5.5. But this is one where I'm just going to be sticking with the draw there. Plus 320 is the best price available. Definitely want to try and get at least above plus 300 with this one. You don't want to get too greedy.
And there you go. Philly, New Jersey combined. Yeah, 10 of their last 14 games have gone to overtime combined, the 2 teams of late. So, yeah, really good draw. One of the favorite draws for me, at least, for sure. And you clearly love this one as well. Ryan, what do you think here, New Jersey and Philly?
I actually really like that as well. I'm on the draw on this one. I don't really have a great feel about sides or totals. I honestly kind of lean New Jersey a little bit. I thought about taking their team total, but I think the best play in this one is the draw as well. So I'm going to take that one with the value here.
All right, good stuff there. As far as props, even though I don't think there's going to be a ton of goals, again, there is value with a couple of Devils right now because of their spot in the lineup. Brown and Gritschik are up in the top 6. So there's probably a little bit of value there with both of them. Keep that in mind. All right, Edmonton and Florida. Stanley Cup final rematch. Should be interesting. At Florida, minus 130. Home favorites. The total is 6 across the board in this one. We've talked about this grueling Edmonton schedule. So many games, so much travel. It's really been a tough sledding for them during this run. They look at this road trip. They lose to. It's been a tough week since beating Carolina last week, 4-3 on the road in overtime. They lose 5-1 to Buffalo. They go to Washington. They start slow, give up goals early, and then they lose 7-4 against Washington. And then the very next night, a back-to-back, and they get the early goal. They actually play a pretty solid road game. They nurse a 1-0 lead into the third period, only for the Lightning to tie it late in the third, and then the Lightning to win it in overtime with Gensel's breakaway right after a robbery of Roslovic by Vasilevsky at the other end of the ice right before that. So really tough, painful loss for the Oilers there. But if one game could shake them up and get them out of their doldrums and cure what ails them, I feel this could be the time, this could be the spot And this could be the opponent because Florida has had their number. They are sick of Florida. They've beaten them in the final 2 years in a row. And if you watched the Florida Panther player celebrations and all the rallies, all the post-cup celebrations back in June, like when they won the first cup, they partied and they were talking and, how great we are, go Panthers, and all this. This time around, when they won the second cup in a row against the same opponent, Edmonton, yeah, they said the same stuff, but they were also much more like rubbing it into the Edmonton Oilers. Like there was multiple videos of Matthew Tkachuk and others on this Panthers team really, really sticking it to the Oilers in comments they made in their celebrations about the Oilers in a negative light. And the players on Edmonton, many of them heard it. And apparently were pissed off about, really angry about it. Like, it's one thing for you to beat us. It's one thing for us to have to deal with the pain and the humiliation of losing to you bastards 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup final. But then for you to put our nose in the dirt and rub our nose right in it, that's Edmonton's coming tonight, in my opinion. I truly believe that. They've called up this guy, Connor Clattenburg. We know the Connor that's going to get all the headlines usually with the Oilers, and that's McDavid. But Connor Clattenburg is getting called up here, and he's a physical player. He's dropped the gloves tons of times. NHL preseason games with the Oilers, he was fighting multiple times down in the American League with Bakersfield. This is definitely one of these games where Edmonton, I think, wants to show some physical pushback here in this game against the Florida Panthers. Maybe they're just going to be the bitches for eternity of the Florida Panthers and lose again tonight. Who knows? But I think you're going to get Edmonton showing up tonight in this game. Like I said, I don't normally like backing a struggling team, but let's not act like Florida's a world beater at the moment. They beat Vancouver 8-5, but they gave up 5 goals. They were sloppy as hell in that game. It was not a pretty performance, even though they won. And then they just snuck by New Jersey in a game they got outshot 32-24, and they needed every bit of those saves from Sergei Bobrovsky in that game. And they're still a very depleted, decimated team, Florida. You credit them for winning these last 2 games, but you're still missing, obviously, Barkov, Tkachuk, Kulikov. Lustarinen's a big deal because of the chemistry he has with Lundell and Marchand. So, like I said, this is a game I think Edmonton's ready to go for. And I'm going to go with the 3 different bets here toward the Oilers. First period money line, first goal of first period for Edmonton. Same what I'm doing with St. Louis, and also Edmonton full game money line at plus 115 in this game. This is a manhood game for Edmonton. This team has treated you like a rag doll 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup final. And then after the second cup win, when you're already feeling like shit losing the first time in that painful Game 7, when you were down in that series 3-0, you come all the way back, you force Game 7, and you lose in pain in Game 7 that year. And then you lose last year again. And then you got to hear the Florida Panthers basically, nah, in your face about it. If you're Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and if you got any sort of balls, any sort of guts, any sort of, backbone, you're so livid that they did that. Isn't it enough you beat us 2 years in a row and you're going to talk smack and just rub it in to us that you beat us 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup final? This is a manhood game. This is a how bad do you want it game. And I think for one night you get a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs type of effort from the Edmonton Oilers tonight. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong and they suck that bad right now, but I'm going to take that shot. I'm going to dive into the stink with the struggling Edmonton Oilers tonight. Alex, what do you think? And by the way, this could get fun for those of us watching. There could be some fireworks. You don't call up a guy like Clattenburg if you're not ready to get down and rumble. If you're the Edmonton Oilers here, so like I said, this could be a fun watch tonight when these 2 teams that have met in the final 2 years in a row meet once again. Alex, your thoughts here, Edmonton, Florida.
If you watch NHL Network throughout the season, you'll notice on the crawl they'll have the dates of different things that are happening, important dates. Within the league schedule this year, when the Olympics start, when the season ends. But I've been seeing this date specifically for the rematch of Edmonton and Florida. And it seems like, everybody's kind of waiting for this one, not just because it's a rematch of the last 2 cup finals, but because of, like you said, how Florida celebrated that second cup win. And I have no problem with that. You beat a team in the playoffs 3-4 years in a row. I think about my Hawks beating Minnesota 3 years in a row.
I agree. You notice I never said, well, Florida's a bunch of assholes for doing that. No, they beat you twice. If they want to crow about it and just go ape shit and rub it in, they can. Doesn't mean Edmonton has to like it, though, and Edmonton should be pissed about it.
That's the thing. I agree. You win 2, 3, 4 years in a row against a team in the playoffs, you deserve to talk shit. You get to strut your stuff and walk your walk and talk your talk. And it's a man-up game for both teams. Because if you're Florida, you beat this team twice in the final to win the ultimate prize. You got to defend your ground, and you're on home ice too, no less. I think this is going to be a fantastic game to watch. I have the over by Fecta already. I laid the minus 134 with the over 5.5. So you can grab that now. 6 is fine too. You can also wait in game. Laid $1.25 with the over 1.5. I think we see goals here. I think we see a lot of penalties. Like I said, I think we're definitely going to see a couple of scraps. This could be a game that gets real chippy. Stuff after the whistles. I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. But I do like Edmonton to get the victory here. I did grab them as well, plus $1.10, and I also have a bargain bin from this contest.
Yeah, I should point out. I think I'm going to actually bet the over by Fecta as well, because I knew it was pretty strong, but all those playoff games in the final last year, all of them had 6+ goals, every single one of them. And then you go back further, the 2 regular season games last year, Edmonton and Florida, both of them over the total, 4-3, 6-5, and also first period over cashed in both of those games as well. So yeah, I think I will add the over by Fecta. There could be penalties. It's going to get maybe physical, nasty, and definitely like I said, more penalties means more power plays and ultimately the chance for more goals. So come on, boys, give us a game. Give us an Olivia Newton-John this game for us. Let's get physical. Let's get going here tonight, guys. This should be a lot of fun. All right, Ryan, what do you think? Edmonton, Florida.
Yeah, this is one I'm excited to watch just as a fan, but I'm going to have to disagree with you here, Ian. I actually like Florida. I just, the Oilers haven't looked great lately. This is a big statement game, obviously, for both teams, but I like Florida here at home. I do like them in regulation, actually, but something I do like on the Oilers side as well. It's another spot I like, that power play. They have been hot. They're 3rd in the league right now behind Dallas. Florida is like right around 20, so they're the bottom half of the league for penalty kill. I mean, when you have McDavid and Draisaitl on the power play, that's obviously a lethal combo. So I do like that. I see it at plus 105 for them to get a power play goal tonight. But I do like a parlay here. I think although Florida wins, I think McDavid and Draisaitl do, obviously everything in their power to have a big game and kind of carry their team. So I like McDavid and Draisaitl each to get a point, but Florida to win, I see it around plus 265. So I like that tonight.
Ryan, I got to ask you, did you get that reference that Ian made, that song reference?
What was it?
The Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical reference. Did you get that?
I know that song, but
okay. I wasn't sure at first when you responded.
No, I was looking through DraftKings, so I wasn't fully paying attention.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I think Florida gets it.
It's only a song from 25 years ago. I mean,
no, shit, as long as that song's like 40 years ago.
35, sorry, or no, 45 years ago. Yeah, I'm getting my years mixed up. Yeah, 45 years ago. Yeah. I wasn't born yet when that song came out. That shows you how long it was, no doubt. So, like I said, this will be a fun watch. There's no doubt. As far as props, Savoy on the top line, I think there's some good value with him on the top line with Roslovic and McDavid for the for the Oilers. Samoskevich is still up with Lundell and Marchand. So, like I said, maybe look in that direction as far as value is concerned with Mackie Samoskevich there on the top line. So there's a couple considerations there for player props in that game. All right, we move on to Original Six battle. This is also one of the Hockey Night in Canada has got a good slate at 7 Eastern. There's a couple good games. It's always now Toronto-Montreal kind of is struggling right now, but it's still Toronto-Montreal. So it always is a good atmosphere when these teams play. Montreal minus 140, home favorites. The total is 6 across the board here in this game. Montreal, here's the thing. I want to take the over, But Toronto really is trending more toward defensive focus. They've talked about it all week long. St. Louis game stayed under. Columbus game stayed under. They're not going to want to open this game up against Montreal, because the one thing Montreal can still do is beat you on the transition game. So Montreal, I want to bet overs because they keep going over. They just do. And the run is what, 10-1 or 11-1 now for these Montreal games over the total. So maybe I'll bet it small, but I am worried that Toronto is kind of trending the other way now. They're missing so much as far as offensive capabilities with Nyes and Matthews and others still out, but they are trying to focus on being tighter, locking it down more defensively. So this is a lukewarm over for me. I don't love it as much as I should. Normally, I've been loving these Montreal overs, but Toronto now, after that crazy run of 13 in a row to the over, it's now 2 straight unders for them this week. The games against St. Louis and Columbus back to back. So kind of on the fence with that over. I like the draw here. A draw to me makes sense. These teams need points. They're okay with. They asked Berube yesterday about all the overtime games. He said, and someone actually asked him about it. All the overtime games, like the most overtime games we've seen in a very long time to start the year. He says, "Are you shocked by that?" He says, "No. Teams know how important every point is. We want and that's how close the league is, top to bottom right now." He's like, "It doesn't bother me. It doesn't freak me out. It doesn't bother me that we've played a lot of overtime games." So what that tells you, it's not like the coach is drilling into the Leaf players, "Hey, you got to win this game in regulation." No, he's not doing that. It's win, period, no matter how much or whatever it takes to win the game, whether it's 60 minutes or whether it's beyond. So, like I said, draw, small over bet. But like I said, I'm keeping it light because I do think Toronto, there's a shift right now. And now they're really, really trying to focus on tidying up the D zone these last couple of games. Alex, what do you think here? Leafs, Habs.
Yeah, this is one where I'll be looking at first period over live. I'm taking a shot with Toronto to score first goal, first period, plus 145. And check patreon.com/ice guys, because I will have a first goal scorer and a second goal scorer from this game. That's the market that is available at DraftKings. You can bet the first, second, and third goal scorers of the game, and those prices get elevated. But I will take a shot here with the draw. I feel like I always bet the draw with Leafs and Habs, which hasn't really worked out of late. There's only been a couple of these meetings over the last 10 to go past regulation. But like I say, in current form, this is a game that's worth betting the draw with as well.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no way I can bet a money line side in this game. Not Toronto in their state right now and the injuries. Yeah, they eked one out to snap the skid against St. Louis, but St. Louis is in kind of rough shape, and we saw what happened against Columbus. They couldn't follow it up. They're still missing so much right now. But I'll be damned if I'm laying minus 140 with Montreal. You couldn't get it done in the spot of a lifetime the other night against Washington. You're not getting my money again. I'll tell you that. Fuck that. Fuck that. That is just not happening. Ryan, what do you think here? Leafs, Habs.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. I'm kind of torn. I wanted to take Leafs, but they haven't been in great form lately. So I'm just going to take a shot here, a small shot with the first period over. I know full game, Toronto has been a bit more defensive, like you mentioned, but I think early on there could be a couple goals. So I like the first period over. I'm going to sprinkle it at minus 135. And, especially if there's not goals in the first couple minutes, you'll get even better value. So might even double down if, a couple minutes go by. But that's all I have in terms of, pregame for this one. I do like also actually Nick Robertson. I know someone West Coast mentioned it, mentioned it in the chat for anytime goal scorer plus 340. I think there's really good value there. So I will be on that as well.
Yeah, I don't mind Nick Robertson. I think Easton Cowan is so close to getting his first NHL goal. I kind of feel like I have to bet him to score because he's had so many chances, and I want to be on. I want to bet the prop when he finally does get that first goal. And you have to take a shot too with going back to Cali. Cali Yarncroke spawned the top line again for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's where he did some damage early in the year when he was up there. So worth a shot there. I'm going to stick with my guy Bolduc for Montreal. If he's going to keep playing with Suzuki and Caulfield, we got to keep betting him on that top line. So, like I said, that is definitely a prop that I'm going to look at here in this game as well. All right, Ottawa, San Jose. We've got the Ottawa Senators here, minus 170, road favorites. Total here sitting at 6, shaded to the under. 5.5 actually is the total in some spots here in this game. I'm just taking, this is one of these games where I've said this a bunch of times. If you haven't been on something for a few games already and you're jumping in now, maybe I wouldn't take it or recommend it. But we've been on San Jose a bunch, especially at home. Already this week, we've taken San Jose against Utah at home, cashed the ticket. We took San Jose against LA at home the other night, cashed the ticket. And you're going to keep offering me these price tags with San Jose at home. I'm taking them. So for me, it's the San Jose Sharks plus 150 in this game. Ottawa is, got off to the good start on the road trip against Anaheim the other night. Obviously, 3-2 win. Very capable team. But should they be minus 170 on the road with what we're seeing out of San Jose right now? I'm not so sure about that. My one concern is this is the front end of a back-to-back for the San Jose Sharks. They are hosting Boston tomorrow night. Do they push Askarov to that game, or do they give him this game tonight? I'm hoping they give him this game tonight because I'd rather have Askarov right now. Who wouldn't rather have Askarov right now than Nedeljkovic? Because Yaroslav Askarov's been great. Absolutely terrific during this run he's had. He's projected right now to be the starting netminder tonight for San Jose. It's not confirmed yet, but it's multiple sites seem to think he's getting the game tonight. Nedeljkovic will get the game tomorrow night against Boston. That's very interesting, Jonathan. Good stat there. I don't mind going against it, but it is worth noting if you're Allmark 7-0 against San Jose in the past. That's pretty good numbers, but it's a different San Jose team now. San Jose with confidence, playing some good hockey. At this price, you have to take it, especially when you've been on them a couple of times already, getting prices like these. So for me, San Jose plus 150. Alex, what do you think here? Senators, Sharks.
Yeah, and keep in mind, those numbers with Allmark against San Jose, I'm sure are heavy shaded with him playing with Buffalo. Buffalo notoriously owned San Jose for a very, very long time.
That's probably true.
And that was a really bizarre. That's something that sticks out with me and Ian because it was just a very bizarre trend of a bad Buffalo team beating really good San Jose teams for like over 10, 12 years. But this is one where I think the Sharks are alive in this spot again as a home dog plus 150. Kind of the same vein of where we were betting Anaheim and Chicago earlier of, this is just a value that you're not going to get down the line. You're not going to be able to bet plus 150, 160, 170 with the Sharks. They continue to win at these spots. So I think this is a good spot to back them here. Even if it ends up being Ned and net, I still think this is a good spot. And the Sharks can get a win here. So give me Sharks, money line. I probably will grab a little piece of team total.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, it's they've been good at home now. You look at the Sharks at home. They beat Colorado, Winnipeg, Florida, LA, Utah here at home. They are on a 5-1 run in their last 6 home games. So again, they're playing quite well here on home ice. Ryan, what do you think here with this game, Ottawa, San Jose?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. I like the Sharks. Good plus money price, but I'm going to split it up between a little bit on Sharks money line and a little bit on their team total. I feel like, they can get to 3 goals. I see over 2.5, minus 110, minus 115. So I think that's really good value for a Sharks team that has a lot of youth, a lot of offensive firepower. I do also like, a Celebrini goal here. He's been hot. He's been having a great season. So that's all I have for this game.
Definitely a Pinto because he's streaky and he scored the other night against Anaheim. I could see that. I totally agree with Cuban Wayne Gretzky's sentiment. Adam Gaudette, absolutely. Former Senator, now with the San Jose Sharks. Former player angle, facing his old team. I like that. I think it's a good night to take a shot there with him to find the back of the net. Adam Gaudette here for the San Jose Sharks. Remember how red hot he was scoring goals early in the year last year for Ottawa. He was quite the reclamation project story he became with how strong he was in between the pipes, or not in between, in scoring goals, I should say, for the Ottawa Senators early last season. All right, Tampa Bay, Washington, Capitals, minus 120, home favorites. Total here sitting at 6 across the board in this game. Capitals have a little something going now. I've been impressed this week. You beat LA. LA was playing well on that road. They hadn't lost on the road trip till they played Washington. They beat Edmonton 7-4. They're starting to get their offense going. This is a team that had a real problem scoring goals in the early part of the season. And now just in the last 2 games, we've seen them explode offensively. Spencer Carberry's team, which has got to be a welcome sight for him because he's had to answer a lot of questions this year. Why is this team having such an issue scoring goals? And of course, not only is the team starting to get it rolling offensively, but Ovi is. And it really is a team where if Ovi's going, the Washington Capitals are going right now. 15 goals in the last 2 wins against Montreal and Edmonton. We'll see if they can keep it going here against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay with going on the road here for just this one game, and then they go back home against Philadelphia. You look at the series history or the season series so far. They've split the 2 meetings. Washington won at home. Tampa won 3-2 down in Tampa. Identical scores in both games, 3-2. But I'm going to ride the momentum here that is the Capitals. Playing well, short price at home. I'm going to take them here, minus 120 in this game. Total, I'm off the total here. It is worth noting, 3-2 final score with the previous 2 meetings between these teams. So that definitely has you pointing in the under if you buy into what we've seen already in the previous 2 meetings with these 2 teams this season. Alex, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, Washington.
This is another draw that I like a lot, and give me Alex Ovechkin at 45-1 to get the game winner in overtime.
There we go. Draw and Ovi, game winner in overtime as well for Alex in this one. Ryan, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, Washington.
Yeah, I was on the draw, but I'm going to hop on that with Alex as well. Plus, that's insane odds. Ovi's been streaky. He's always, always found success, it seems like, against Tampa. So I'm going to sprinkle that as well, just because it's too good odds not to.
No doubt. Off the floor on the board in his return with Tampa Bay to tie the game last game against Edmonton, Nick Paul, tricky Nicky Paul. We're going to go back to the well. Even though I like Washington in this game, doesn't mean we can't bet props on the other team. I always say
Plus
that.
440. Yeah. I'll probably tail on that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, like I said, does not get talked about like Point and Gensel and Kucherov and some of the Hagel, Sorelli, some of the other players on this Lightning team up front. He should be. He's a really good player. Doesn't get.
He gives you the quiet, important
role, and he's great defensively too. He plays penalty kill, like he's just very important player for them, and he's such a better offensive player than he gets credit for. So, yeah, Nick Paul, he's back on that express again with him here in this game. Ovechkin's on a 4-game goal streak. Gensel, I'm not normally a big goal parlay guy, but parlaying Ovechkin and Gensel tonight in a same game goal parlay, makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're on heaters right now. Both of them. So, like I said, Ovechkin and Gensel, maybe a little goal parlay there with the both of them might be worth a look here in the game tonight. And like I said, certainly good value with Paul and with Nick Paul for Tampa Bay here in this game. As far as goal prop is concerned, like I said, that price with him, with the way he's contributed, it's well worth taking.
It's funny with Nick Paul. I actually had a conversation a while back with a guy we're talking about with the Lightning, and I was saying about how Nick Paul is kind of like a Marian Hossa type in that sense, where he's going to do everything right in the technical sense, and when he does give you scoring, like I said, it won't be he's not going to give you a hat trick and 5 points. He's not going to just explode for goals, but he's going to come in and give you 2 or 3, 4 games in a row where he chips in, and it's always a goal that's, like I said, it's giving his team the lead or tying a game. It's always an important goal whenever he scores.
Yeah, it is. And look, that's a great point. And of course, doesn't get much more important than tying the game late in the 3rd period, as he did the other night for the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Edmonton Oilers in their comeback win there in that game. All right, as we continue along here, by the way, it's Thompson confirmed in net for Washington. Vasilevsky is projected. But we're not sure if he'll be back. Remember, there's still some missing parts to the Tampa Bay Lightning on the blue line. Hedman, McDonough, and now I'm seeing Eric Chernak day-to-day. So they could be very much depleted here on this blue line tonight, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So make sure you're aware of that. Could be short-handed and down 3 potentially starting defensemen here for this game tonight. All right, Colorado and Nashville. We've got Colorado minus 215. Road favorites, 225 in some spots. The total here sitting at 6 shaded to the over here in this game. Obviously, this is you would think on paper a mismatch. I know we got our good friend who's a Preds fan from Kentucky, Shea Walker, telling me in DMs I took Colorado puck line tonight. So it tells you how much faith he has right now in his team at the moment. But yeah, I have no interest stepping in front of Colorado. Like, I didn't think that was the best spot for them the other night against the Rangers. You know, they'd been sitting at home for a while, feeling good about, you know, the incredible run. And I don't think they played great, but they still won 6-3. And the way they're just lighting it up right now, I mean, the last 6 games, 9-5-4, 6-4-6. I mean, that's the goals they've scored, you know, and it's been just very, very impressive to see that from this Colorado Avalanche team. This is going to be Nashville's first game, believe it or not, since the 2 games back-to-back in Sweden last weekend against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So there's the jet lag factor here in this game. They haven't been obviously playing a game now in 6 days, and you're coming back from that home or from that long road trip over to Europe. So I'm going to do a rare Colorado first period puck line here and Colorado full game team total over. So it's a weird way to go about it, but I think they jump out early because I think for Nashville, it's going to take a period. Let's be real. I think to get their legs under them, haven't played in a while, coming off the back-to-back games over there in Sweden. I could see Colorado starting fast. So the -0.5 is +130. It's not a great price on the first period puck line for Colorado, but it is still plus money. And over 3.5 -1.8. Over 3.5 is -114 for Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Their team total at Pinnacle, which is the reduced juice book. -114.
118 is at FanDuel is the best probably American available price.
That's a great price for it. And again, this team is scoring 4 goals in their sleep right now. So Avalanche team total over 3.5 and that first period puck line as well. Alex, what do you think here? Avs, Preds.
I was laughing because I already grabbed the team total 3.5 -118 earlier, but as I was on my phone, then I was adding first period puck line. I got +128 in fact, because he said this is just a good spot. And we saw how Pittsburgh looked shaky coming back off that Sweden trip. Nashville, I could see this being a disaster piece, honestly. The way Colorado's been rocking and rolling, you can't get in front of them. Can't try and slow them down, and this could get ugly quick and in a hurry. So team total over 3.5 -1.18. I saw a -120 around too. So definitely shop for the best price available. But I could see this maybe ballooning up where you couldn't get anything higher than -130, 135, close to the puck drop. So grab that quickly and get that with the puck line in the first period as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's actually might be not a bad sprinkle. The team total for Colorado +235 for the 1.5 in the first period.
I would sprinkle that.
That's a good value. It's just really
better than first period over.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, it is. There's no doubt. So like I said, we'll see with Nashville. They do have Roman Josi back. The one little, I guess, devil's advocate that I'll throw at you, and I did notice this. I still like, I certainly like the team total still for Colorado in spite of this. This has been a little house of horrors in the regular season for Colorado. They've actually lost 4 straight times in Nashville in the regular season. So for some reason, Nashville's done well against them at home, but this is a totally different situation. It's a Nashville team that's obviously been overseas, now coming back, haven't played in a week. Very, very difficult, in my opinion, for them to play their A game here. Ryan, what do you think, Colorado, Nashville?
Yeah, this is a pizza money bet, but I don't know. I just have a weird feeling Nashville gets it done here. I know they came back from overseas, but
they played well against Colorado.
Hockey's just one of those weird sports where things, whenever a team is a heavy favorite, it just, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out that way. So I'm talking just a few bucks for fun, but I don't know. Nashville, they've struggled, but they've had success against Colorado. I know someone mentioned the home team in this series has won a lot of the last 6 games or whatever it is, and they've seemed to have Colorado's number. Sometimes, a team that's bad just for whatever reason has a good team's number. So taking a small shot with Nashville here. Now, if Colorado wins 5-1, will I be surprised? Absolutely not. But just kind of a small, little bet. I do think Wedgwood, if he's playing, he'll bring it, because obviously he had a stint with Nashville before going to Colorado, but it's just a small, weird kind of bet that I just have a feeling that everyone thinks Colorado is going to win and Nashville is going to somehow win. Stupid, 3-1, 3-2 type game, 4-2, whatever it is.
Stupid in there, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a dumb goal that goes in off a skate, or close to being offside, something like that, controversial.
It could happen. Yeah.
I just have a weird feeling, so it's going to be a tiny bet for me, just for fun.
All right, there we go. Tiny bet on Nashville, thinking maybe for Colorado it's a stumbling block spot. It's weird because it could be that they've struggled in Nashville, but at the same time, I think it's brutal for Nashville coming back from Sweden here. And facing a Colorado team that is absolutely on a major heater right now. Speaking of heaters, 3 games in a row with a goal for Brock Nelson, 2 games in a row with a goal for Ross Colton for Colorado, and you can get him in that plus 400 range. So I think that's definitely something that's worth a look here as far as Colorado, with that value on Colton starting to step up offensively for them right now. Gavin Brindley's day-to-day, keep an eye on that. He may not go tonight. We'll have to wait and see on that. There is one prop I like for Nashville, Matthew Wood. He's like the one guy that's been really, really good other than Forsberg offensively for them. So I don't mind taking a shot there with Matthew Wood for the Nashville Predators. All right, Rangers and Mammoth. We've got the Utah Mammoth minus 115 home favorite, 6 the total here in this game. This is another one where I don't have a strong feel for it. Utah's a fade or pass team for me right now. I don't want Utah. They're just not playing well. They're really, really reeling at the moment. It's been a struggle. 1-7 in their last 8 games, 2-8 in their last 10 games. Even the home ice, hasn't been able to help them out. They've lost 2 in a row at home to the Islanders and the Golden Knights. Do I want to back Rangers that badly? No, probably not. 3 straight losses for them, 2 straight to start this road trip. Now, they did play Colorado, Vegas. I guess when you compare Utah to those 2 teams, it's a little bit of a drop down in class for the New York Rangers. Shesterkin and Vejmelka projected to be the goaltenders. We'll see how this one plays out. I don't mind the under here. Utah's on an under run right now. 4 straight Utah games have stayed under the total. So I could see maybe the under getting getting through here and being a lower scoring game. Even the draw, like we haven't, Utah, 3 of their last 4 have gone past regulation. I could maybe get there with that between these 2. I probably will, just because Utah's gone to overtime 3 of the last 4. So a little draw bet. It's not my favorite draw, but I'll dabble in the draw. Other than that, nothing pregame. Alex, Rangers, Mammoth.
Yeah, small shots on the draw, plus 340, and 60-minute correct score, 2-2 at 11-1. Like you said, the Rangers, that offense, we always it had been showing up on the road. Now it's kind of tapered off a little bit. Utah, like I said, they just want to be happy to get points. So definitely liking the draw in this, but I would take a little sprinkle and get that extra bonus, 11-1 with the 2-2 correct score.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. Liking the correct score dabble as well is Alex here. New York, Utah. Ryan, anything you like here?
No, actually, no. This one's a pass for me. I think there's just too many other games that I like more than this one. Don't really have a good feel here with either of these teams, and Utah's been struggling. So I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Just quickly, was there anything in the props that I circled? Let me check my notes here. Not really. Not too much as far as the props here in this game. Utah, certainly, their offense has gone ice cold, as cold as a, late November day in these parts. So, like I said, it's been definitely a struggle for them of late. Although Jonathan notes there's some good track record here for certain players here against the with Keller in particular. Yeah, 5 goals in 6 games versus Igor and 9-13 versus the Rangers. So done very well of late. AM liking I would bet the Rangers for sure before the Mammoth. Like if you forced me to bet a side, I would take the Rangers here. But like I said, not in love with their form at the moment either. All right, next up, we've got Vegas, Anaheim. This should be a good one. Vegas -1, because it was the last time they played in Vegas where Mrazek was in net. Vegas came back, tied the game, and then Anaheim won in overtime. If we get a game like that here, it'll be another entertaining matchup. We've got Vegas -140, road favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Anaheim off the 3-2 home loss to the Ottawa Senators. We'll see if they can bounce back here in this game against the Vegas Golden Knights. See, I'm not as gung-ho about taking Anaheim in this spot. I really liked it at the bigger price in Vegas a couple weeks ago, but now you've got a in-division revenge, spot for the Vegas Golden Knights, a Vegas team that actually we think of them historically as being a really great home team, and if you're going to take a shot fading them, do it on the road. They've been a better road team this year, Vegas, and they've won 3 straight road games as well, actually, no, 2 of the last 3. They did lose to Minnesota in overtime, played well enough to win that game. It was pretty close, but they beat St. Louis 4-1. They beat Utah 4-1. So they've actually played a little bit better here on the road. Like I said, Vegas trying to avenge a 4-3 overtime loss on their home ice to the Anaheim Ducks just recently. We'll see how this one plays out. But like I said, I think certainly I'm not betting against Anaheim as a plus price home underdog. You guys know that. But I don't know if this is going to be the spot I'm going to jump in and take them here either. First period over, I do like. You've got Anaheim coming off the loss. The Vegas, first period overs have, cooled off a little bit. I will say that. But in this spot with Anaheim off the loss to Ottawa the other night, Vegas, I think, knowing that, you can't be spotting Anaheim a lead like you did the first meeting, I think there's a chance we could get 2 goals from these 2 teams combined in the opening 20 minutes. So I'm going to look at that. First period over here with Vegas and Anaheim. Draw? Yeah, maybe. Again, not a draw I love, but it did go to overtime back on November 8th with these 2 teams. Vegas has gone to past regulation and cast the draw in 3 of their last 7 games. So this might be a draw dabble, but there's others I like more than this one. Alex, what do you think? Vegas, Anaheim.
I'm just seeing what Aaron said in the chat about Tomas Hertl, who's a player I like to get the overtime game-winning goal. I do like this to go to OT. I like the draw here. But I will be looking to grab Vegas money line in game at minus 140. I feel like there's going to be back and forth, and I think I'll have a chance to grab Vegas at plus money. But I feel like this is going to be a good back and forth battle. 2 teams that are fighting for the top of the Pacific Division. I don't think anybody was expecting that November 22nd that it'd be Anaheim and Vegas 1 and 2 at the top of the Pacific, and this could be a battle of 2 of the best teams in the West. So this should be a fun one to watch for sure. First period over, might look for that live too as well. I don't want to lay 148 to 150 right now pregame. So there's a lot of live looks, but I will grab draw and Tomas Hertl to get the win. I think Vegas wins this game tonight.
There we go. Yeah, I like that. Beckett Seneca for the Anaheim Ducks. I do. He's been scoring at home quite a bit. And even that first goal sprinkle, we're going to have to start doing that when the first goal indicator starts to come from our guy, Jonathan Davis. I like it's done for a few of the players.
Especially home team and road team goals. And I'm kicking my own ass for that because I missed out on doing that with Bertuzzi last night. I had first goal of the game. I should have had first road goal score that would have cashed. So, yeah, you got to sprinkle and divide that up if you want to, even if you're doing it 50-50. But make sure you get a little piece of something on the home team and road team first goal score when you bet first overall score.
He scored in back-to-back games for Vegas. Do we trust? Like, he's a third pair defenseman, Ben Hutton, but it is plus 2,000. And he has scored in back-to-back games. I might just
lottery ticket,
$2 lottery ticket, exactly. Yeah. Braden Bowman's the one I really like. You know how much I think of Braden Bowman for Vegas. His call-up has been outstanding. Since he's been up, he's made an immediate impact. Bruce Cassidy has put his trust in Braden Bowman, putting him with Eichel and close-shave Barbashev on that top line. So, like I said, Braden Bowman is definitely a goal prop that has become a go-to for me since he's been called up to the Golden Knights. Ryan, what do you think here, Vegas, Anaheim?
Yeah, I'm on the draw on this one. I actually think I kind of lean Anaheim, if anything, but I don't have a side pregame. Kind of want to see how the first, 5-10 minutes of the game go. But I do like that draw for this one.
All right, we wrap it up with Ryan's team, the Dallas Stars, taking on the Calgary Flames. We've got Dallas, minus 135 road favorites. The total here sitting at, looks like 6 shaded to the under here in this game. This is a road trip that Glenn Gulletson, the head coach of the Stars, has called it my ex-wife road trip, because he's had a connection to all these teams in Western Canada, assistant with Vancouver and Edmonton, and of course a head coach with the Calgary Flames years ago. So I'm sure memories for Glenn Gulletson here returning to Calgary now as the head coach of the Dallas Stars. Dallas starting the road trip off victoriously 4-2 against the Vancouver Canucks the other night. The struggling Vancouver Canucks, but nevertheless, Calgary struggling almost as badly, although they are off a rare win, 6-2 against the Buffalo Sabres. How well have the Calgary Flames done off a win this season, you ask? They're only, let me just see here, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4 off a win. Only once this year have they won back-to-back games, the Calgary Flames, and it came back on November 2nd at Philly and November 5th at home against Columbus. Only one instance this year of the Calgary Flames winning back-to-back games. So that's going to be, that's concerning. Trusting this team to string quality wins together. If you look at last year, Dallas swept the series, winning all 3 meetings, 2 of them in Dallas, as well as a 5-2 win in Calgary over the Calgary Flames. So we'll see how this one plays out. We'll see who's in net as well. It was Jake Ottinger against Vancouver. It is going to be Jake Ottinger. I think it will be Jake Ottinger tonight. It'll be Devin Cooley getting another opportunity here for the Calgary Flames. How about this decision by Ryan Huska? Is he trying to throw a little shade at Dustin Wolf? Who knows? I don't think that's the case. I think he's just trying to reward Devin Cooley for being the guy in net against Buffalo the other night when they finally won a game. And he played pretty well in that game. So give him another opportunity here in net. We'll see how it plays out. I'm kind of sick and tired of fading Calgary with Cooley in net and not having good results to show for it. That's kind of been my season going against Calgary when Cooley's been in net. So my emphasis will be, I initially lean Dallas. Pre-game, I'm not going to touch him, -135. If I see a plus price in-game, I probably will take Dallas, but I'm going to need that to get involved with the Stars because I'm going to give Devin Cooley his props right now. He's given Calgary some good goals. He's one hell of a character here. Did you hear that friggin' interview after the win the other night, talking about how he just tries to block everything out and say, none of this matters. I'm going to die someday and yada, 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 and just not think about, overthinking it and making mistakes. You talk about the goalies are weird and they're very unique characters. Listening to Devin Cooley in that post-game interview after the win against Buffalo, you find that out quite well. But his numbers are really good. 1.8 goals against and .935 save percentage in his 3 starts this season for the Calgary Flames. So, like I said, I'm pumping the brakes here a little bit pregame on going against Cooley at the moment. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Dallas, Calgary?
Yeah, with his game and how it is improved, combined with how I've been snake bit all year, betting the team total on Dallas, which was the thing that I did eyeball here, that 3.5 at plus money, but I've gotten crushed with that. So this is a game that's going to be a pass for me.
All right, Ryan. I have a feeling Ryan may not be passing on this since it's a Stars game, but what do you think, Ryan? Dallas, Calgary?
Yeah, I actually I know last time I was on, I didn't feel great about Dallas. I forget who they were playing, but I do like them in this spot. I think, earlier this morning, I think it was at -140 or -145. It's already moved to -135. So I do like that price against a Calgary team that hasn't been good this year. There are a lot of props too in this game. Rantanen has had success against Calgary in his career. I think he has 6 or 7 multi-point games against them. Robertson has 2+ points in 6 of his 12 career games against Calgary, and he's red hot right now. He's pretty streaky, so I know he had a hat trick and then 2 goals, and he's been on fire lately. So it's hard to not take any, Jason Robertson goals or point props. I think those are worth a look. I will probably sprinkle Blake Coleman as well, +390s from Dallas. Hasn't done much the last few games, but I think he has 7 goals against Dallas in his career. So just one of those weird things. He grew up a Stars fan, kind of like that look as well. Excuse me. This is another game too, where I do like the power play look. Calgary's penalty kill is not great. Dallas power play is very good. Dallas to get a power play goal is even money at +100. So I think, they find the back of the net on the power play. They didn't have any success last game. I think they were 0 for 2, but I look for them to bounce back here in this spot. But yeah, it's just, Robertson props are good. Rantanen props are good. I also have a feeling I am going to sprinkle a Jamie Benn anytime. He's been so close. He's been sitting at 399 since, I believe it's March. He scored last season in one of the last games and it got called back. He scored again against Utah. The credit got changed. So he's been stuck at that 399. He was so close last game. And that's, another guy who's had success in his career against Calgary. I know him and Sagan used to like playing them. So I'm going to sprinkle a Jamie Benn anytime plus 450. I think the captain has got to break through sooner or later.
I know Matt Robinson yesterday when he joined us made a recommendation of maybe Blake Coleman, for Calgary to find the back of the net, of course, playing against, he's a Texas guy playing against the Texas team. So maybe you look in that direction. Here's a few. Robertson's been ridiculous. It's 9 goals in the last 5 games for Jason Robertson. It's an absolutely 5 straight games with a goal, 9 during that span. Matt Coronado's on a 3-game goal streak for Calgary, so he's probably worth a look. Rasmus Andersson for Calgary from the blue line has scored in back-to-back games. And remember, this guy might be trying to showcase himself a little bit too. There's a good chance he's moved at the deadline. If he is willing to be moved, he has liked his time with Calgary, but if they're not going anywhere and he wants a chance to compete, he'd be willing, I think, to get moved so that he could be a trade deadline acquisition for somebody. So like I said, I think there's incentive for certainly Rasmus Andersson to play well, and incentive for Calgary to see him play well because it'll add to his trade value potentially when we get closer to the deadline. So there are a few props that are piquing my interest, at least in that Stars and Flames game. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Huge Saturday card. Looking forward to it. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. Again, me, Alex, and Matt are all there. Tons of great handicappers there. Daily premium picks. I've got a big card there. College football, NHL, college basketball, all included as part of it. So check it all out, wizardsportspicks.com. I will be, even in my still getting over an illness state, I will be recording the video for Beyond the Lines. That'll be for Sunday. So make sure you check out that on the Wizard Sports Picks YouTube channel, the daily Beyond the Lines video series. I do it Thursdays and Sundays. So make sure you check that out. We went 2-1 on Thursday with the picks, so we'll try to keep it going. And also, of course, patreon.com/Ice Guys, $10 per month, goalie charts, totals charts, all our bonus content. And yes, our exclusive live betcast in the month of November is coming up, and you want to get on board before that exclusive live betcast to be part of it for our Patreon members. And again, daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. So make sure you check it out. Again, your subscription and membership on Patreon goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping us going long term. So make sure you get on board. $10 per month, patreon.com/Ice Guys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Before the show, we were talking about holiday plans and travel and things of that nature. Well, some of the holiday plans you got to do is get some gifts under the tree for friends and family. I got to do some shopping as well. So it's a good time to get, a hoodie, a cap, a t-shirt, a mug, somebody for yourself or a loved one, and check it out at the Ice Guys store. You can get that right now at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. And we will have sales coming up as Black Friday approaches as well. So stay tuned for those.
There you go. Later this week, sales on at the Ice Guys store. So make sure you get ready for that. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Please for yourself with my love. Royal Cannabis, where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com. 20% off with promo code IceGuys. All right, bargain bin special of the night for this Saturday slate. All right, Alex, we'll go to you. Lots to choose from. What do you got for bargain bin special of the night?
You know, when a team has to stand and deliver, they call on their captain to rise in big-time moments. And there's no team that needs to stand and rise in a moment today bigger than the Edmonton Oilers and their captain, Connor McDavid. I'm taking him to score 2 goals today at 12-1, and I'm also taking him to get 3 points today at plus 350. Those are my 2 bargain bin specials for tonight. Edmonton taking on Florida. Connor McDavid to get 2 goals, plus 1,200, and 3 points at plus 350.
Yeah, you know, he needs one of those beast mode type of performances. The last time he had it was that third period against Columbus. It was a few weeks ago at home. I remember it. The team was just wallowing, and he literally had an unbelievable couple of goals in the third period and willed them back to win that game. We'll see if we get beast mode Connor McDavid tonight down in Florida. So 2 Connor McDavid bargain bin specials, 2+ goals and over 2.5 points as well for Alex B. Smith with bargain bin specials. Ryan, what do you think bargain bin special for today?
Yeah, this has cashed a lot for me recently. He's been, so hot. Give me Jason Robertson, 2+ goals, plus 800. He has 2 or more goals in 3 of his last 5 and found the back of the net in all 5. He's streaky. When he's feeling it, he's feeling it. Everything seems to be going in right now for him. Power play, even strength, doesn't matter. Give me Jason Robertson, 2+ goals as my bargain bin special of the night.
There we go. How about that? We got 2 bargain bins that are for someone to score 2 goals or more. Connor McDavid for Alex and Jason Robertson, Robo for Dallas, for Ryan Robinson with bargain bin special of the night. I'm just plain old, unoriginal Ian with bargain bin special of the night. Just my standard goal props for yours truly. I got 2 of them. I'm going to go to the former player angle out in San Jose. Give me Adam Gaudette for the San Jose Sharks at plus 510. To find the back of the net. Former Senator facing his old team. And the other one, we're not going to miss out on him as bargain bin special this time. Tricky Nicky Paul, Tampa Bay Lightning, plus 440. So there you go. 2 bargain bin specials for this Saturday.
And Gaudette, doesn't he have a knack for scoring against old teams too?
He does.
Yeah.
And now this year he hasn't scored as much as he did early last year against Ottawa when he couldn't stop scoring. Last year, he's been a little quieter this year, but I think tonight
he reminds me of like Adam Henrique in that sense. Whenever he's playing against an old team, he gets a little bit geared up. So I like that.
Yeah, I like it. So Adam Gaudette, San Jose, plus 510, and Nick Paul, Tampa Bay, plus 440 for my 2 bargain bin specials for this Saturday night. All right, best bets, Alex. What do you like for best bet?
Let's head on out east to the city of brotherly love. You got New Jersey and Philly, a little bit of a rivalry of sorts back in the day. Not as much these days, but expecting close battles. You got both teams that have gone past regulation 5 of their last 7 games. So give me the draw with Devils Flyers plus 320. That's my best bet for Saturday.
All right, Devils Flyers draw plus 320 for Alex with his best bet. Ryan, what do you got for best bet?
Yeah, I'm going out to Florida, Stanley Cup rematch. I just feel good about the Panthers at home. I like that minus 130 price to get it done against Edmonton. Even though it is a revenge spot for Edmonton, I just feel good about Florida. So give me the Florida Panthers money line as my best bet today.
All right, good stuff. Best bet for me. Excuse me. Let's go underdog hunting with the San Jose Sharks here, plus 150. Really great price. I mean, they continue to play well at home. I like what I'm seeing out of them, this young group. And I think they can keep it going here tonight against the Ottawa Senators. I know Ottawa won the first game of the road trip, looking to build a little momentum. But San Jose continues to be the undervalued commodity. And we've seen it multiple games in a row. So Sharks, plus 150 for my best bet here for this Saturday card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Again, we got a big card. Looking forward to it. Tomorrow we'll be back with you again. This week we'll be on every day. There's games except Thursday, of course. Thursday there will be no show, but we should be good for the rest of the week. So thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. Reminder: the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and Ryan Robinson, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Sunday at noon Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.